Welcome to Flash Tutorial 78, Animated Ferris Wheel. I'm starting a new FLA, keeping my default settings. Open the library panel, click down here, new symbol. Make sure movie clip is selected and call it spokes, S-P-O-K-S, that's how I'm spelling it, _MC. Now we're inside that movie clip. Pick up straight line tool and draw a line here. Make sure it's straight. All those wiggly lines are out. Pick up your selection tool, highlight it, open the properties panel, and make sure it's at least around 120 would be good. Pick up the free transform tool, highlight it, open the alignment panel. Make sure line to stage is checked and horizontally align it, not vertically, just horizontally. And take that circle and drag it straight up till it's on the center of the, right here, as close as you can get it. That's reasonably close. Open the alignment panel. Right here, transform, this tab, click it. Make sure rotate is selected. And we're going to type some degrees in here, but don't hit the enter yet. So click here, 72 degrees. I'm picking 72 because there's 360 degrees in a circle. I want 5 of these lines. Divided by 5 gives me 72 degrees. Click here, click again and again till you have your 5 spokes of my Ferris wheel. And I have this little tab sticking out the end there. Go back to scene 1. Pick up the oval tool right here. I want no fill, so click that fill bucket and come up here and click this. I want black for my stroke. Holding the shift down, I'm making a circle. Pick up the selection tool, highlight it. Open the properties panel. Make sure that this chain link is locked. There it's unlocked, now they're locked. Select this width, make it 200, and when I hit enter, both of them will change. Click the alignment panel here. Make sure line to stage is selected. Click here, horizontally center it, and vertically center it. Now that's right in the middle of my stage. Lock that layer, double click on it, and call it circle. Insert a new layer, call it spokes. S-P-O-K-S again. Open the library panel and make sure frame 1 is selected. Open the library panel, drag them spokes out onto the stage. Now you can see that it's not centered. Okay, so what you want to do is move it around until these tips are equally past the outside the circle. So I think there's a little bit there, a little there. That's I'm happy with that. But because when you make something movie clip, it takes the outer extremities of the X and Y axis, it thinks the center of this circle is here. It isn't. We want it to be up here. So pick up your free transform tool. Now we can see the free transform tool. Click on that circle and put it right on the center here as best you can, and I'm happy with that. Lock that layer, open a new layer, call it seats, S-E-A-T, seat, and select that frame, and right here draw a seat. Now I'm going to show you roughly how I did mine. I picked up the free transform tool, click and drag, don't move it, click, drag, like that. I did all that to make sure I have a closed loop. Then I picked up a color, red here, picked up the bucket, filled it, and then I used this selection tool and bent and shape this till I got the shape I wanted. And when I had got that done, I picked up my oval tool again. I picked up a grayish color and I made a little circle where I wanted my seats to pivot. So now I'm not going to use that seat. I have another one already drawn. And here's my seat. I'm going to highlight that seat that I have made. Come up to here, modify, convert it to a symbol. Make sure movie clip is selected and call it SEAT_MC, seat movie clip. Let's rename this layer seat 1. And what I want you to do is right click, copy this layer. Then go here, paste layer once, paste layer twice, paste 3 times, paste 4 times. So now we have 4 seats. And I want to call them seat 1, seat 2, 3, 4, 5. I locked all my layers. Unlock the circle layer. You can see the circle is highlighted. If not, pick up your selection tool and highlight the whole thing. Get the crosshairs. See that? My cursor turns to those crosshairs. Right click, copy that. Click on the seat layer, insert a layer. Call it guide. G-U-I-D-E, guide. Click on that first frame of the guide layer. Right click down here, paste in place, and we have that directly on top of that. Select this guide layer, copy layer, and I want 4 more of them. So if I go up here and select this seat layer, right click, paste layer, select the seat 3 layer, right click, paste layer, select the 4 seat layer, right click, paste layer, and select the seat 5, right click, paste layer. Hide all the layers by doing that. The circle, the spokes I want to see. There they are, the spokes I want to see. Seat 1 I want to see, and I want to see the guide above seat 1. Take that seat 1, so unlock the seat 1 layer, and take that seat 1 and take it over so that this point right here is on that junction point there. Now let's make this a little bigger. Let's make it 200%. So you see where I have it. As a matter of fact, this spokes layer, let's click that and drag it all the way up to the top. So now we can see exactly where that is going. I can see my spokes and I can see my seat, and that's approximately where I want it. Now, so you get your free transform tool and put this dot right here, right on that. Very important. Now, let's go down to guide 1, this guide layer. Lock the seat layer for a minute, unlock the guide layer for a minute, pick up the selection tool, pick up frame 1 of the guide layer. That's the guide above the seat. Pick up your eraser tool, pick up the smallest eraser, and just erase behind that. Now, you can see it's disappeared. Go up here, double click on this guide, and click here, make it a guide. Say OK, and when we do a little, that's a T square comes here, click on the seat and pull it over like that. Now the seat is using this circle as a guide. Go up to frame 200, start at the top and come down and get all those layers. right click, insert keyframes, bring everything up to 200s. Now the only layer that is unlocked is the seat layer, and the only layers we can see is the seat 1 and the guide above it, and the spokes, which is way up on top. So I'm dealing with this seat layer. So somewhere in this seat layer, right click, create classic tween, and we see this purplish, bluish purple with this long arrow in it. Select frame 40 of the seat layer. You'll know right here, it tells you what frame it is. Insert a keyframe. Select this seat and drag it till this circle locks in that junction. You see it snaps on that line. Okay. Go up to 80 of the seats layer. 80. And take that. Don't worry that the seat's not where it was before. Drag that seat up to the next one. That would be this one up here. I'll move all my stuff up a little bit. Locks in this one. That's for my 80. Go up to 120. Insert a keyframe. And now I'm over to this one. Right on. And then 160. Right about here. Yes, 160. Insert keyframe. This one's going to be down here. And finally, on the 200, we just have to take this and back it up there. So it's at the end of that circle guide. So now let's hit the enter sign. See, there's the, right here is a junction we had to go back of. It's going to come down and it'll just jump right to here. And if I hit it again, okay, so let's test this. Let's test it. Alright, I'll do one more of these with you, and then you can do the rest of them on your own. Lock that seat layer, hide those two layers, make it this seat 2 and the guide above seat 2, make them visible. Unlock seat 2. Turn this one into a guide by double clicking on it. Guide, OK. Pull the seat up into here. Go back to frame 1 and grab this seat here. It's going to be right on this point. Oh, first we got to unlock the guide layer. Select frame 1 of the guide layer and pick up the eraser and erase a little bit back here. Remember that? And if we go up to here, we just have to do the same thing on this here with the eraser. Erase that tail end this. And I think that's good. Let's go back to frame 1. Lock this guide layer. And now right click in here anywhere and make it a classic tween. So now it's controlled by the guide. And on that first frame, pick up your free transform tool. On the first frame, there it is. Seat 2 should be right on there. Oh, let's see. We have to move the dot. Move the dot here. Move the dot right there on that circle. Now it jumped in place for me. up to the 440 mark, insert a keyframe. Now this one should go up to here at this time. Oops, Control Z. I want to grab the whole thing, put it there, and it locks in. Now I'm actually holding my finger over here so I know where it goes the next frame. On 80, insert a keyframe, bringing it, oops, getting the crosshairs, putting this one on here. I'm holding my finger down here now. Holding my finger down here. And 120, insert keyframe. Getting the crosshairs, bringing this one down here. Good. Insert a keyframe. This one is going down here. And finally, this last one, get that spot in the center there and drag him right to the end of that. Now let's test this one. We should have two of them rotating. Very good. I'm going to do the remaining 3 seats. If you think you know how to do them, then you can just stop this video and go to the next part, which will be Flash Tutorial 79 Animated Ferris Wheel Part 2. If you are unsure of how to do them, then stay with this tutorial and we'll finish those last 3 seats off. Make sure all the layers are locked. Make sure that this guide is not seen and this seat 2 is not seen. I want to be able to see seat 3 and guide 3. Double click on guide, make it a guide, pick the seat up, pull it over there, and this seat will go up here to start. Click on frame 1 of the seats layer, unlock it, grab the seat, make sure it's got the squares, the free transform tool has selected it, put the circle right on that circle, get your crosshairs. Now let's unlock the guide layer frame 1 and pick up that eraser tool, again the smallest eraser, and erase that little point right there. Lock the guide layer, select frame 1 and pick up your free transform tool and drag that so it is on that guide. Click anywhere on the seats layer, make it a classic tween. Go back and select frame 1. So now I got it where we want it, right at that beginning before the break in the guide. I'm holding my finger here to keep track. Selecting frame 40, insert keyframe, clicking on it, dragging it onto there. I'm holding my finger down here so I know where it goes the next one. Inserting a keyframe, got it in the right spot, dragging it down to there. Holding my finger down here now so I know which one to go to next. And if you might not have to do this. Insert keyframe, drag it there. Holding my finger here now for the next one. Pulling it up. Holding my finger here. I know it's the last one because it got the break in it. But we got to make sure here that we have that break. So pick up your eraser tool. Unlock the guide layer. Select that last frame. Eraser tool. And make that break again there. There it is. Lock that guide layer, select that last frame, pick up your selection, your free transform tool, get that. When you leave it, it disappears. It goes back to the, when you take it off the free transform tool, this goes back to the center of this movie clip. And we want that to be right there on the end and not jump to that beyond that break. Let's hit the enter key, see if that works. So far so good. I'm thinking it's good down there. Here it comes up. Okay, make sure that everything's locked again. Hide those two. Now by now you're probably not wanting to watch anymore, but that's up to you. We have 3 done. Make it so I can see seat 4 and guide 4. Now we're going to end up over here. So let's first of all go back to frame 1. And let's bring the seat over close here. I know it still has my free transform tool on. Let's unlock the guide layer. Pick up that eraser tool and erase this little piece here. That's good. Lock the guide layer. Double click on it. Make it a guide. Right click and draw the seat up into there. See how that moved on us? So I got to pick that dot back up, put it over there, and put it right on there. That's where it's going to start. Right click in here somewhere, classic tween in that seat 4 line, and there it is on frame 1. Go up to frame, I'll pull this up so I can see the other ones, 40. And again, I'm putting my finger down here to know where it has to go. Right down here. Insert keyframe. I gotta find it. Now you might wonder why it scoots back here. It's still working on the fact that we have the whole thing as a tween. So we want this down here. My next one's going to be down here. Again, I got my finger down here so I know where it goes. Insert a keyframe. Pull it right there. Put my finger here. Insert keyframe. I think there's 2 more for this one. Holding my finger here. Dragging it up. And I know it's going to go back to that break. But the first thing I've got to do is click here on the guide. Unlock the guide. Pick up the eraser tool. Break that. Lock that again. Select that last frame. Free transform tool. Put the dot where it's supposed to be. And drag that seat over to the end. And I'm just going to hit the enter sign again. And I'm happy with that. Lock all the layers. Hide those 2 layers. So now we're going to be able to see the seat and the guide and the spoke still. Double click on the guide layer. Make it a guide. Okay. And we're dealing down here with this section down here. So pick up my eraser. Erase that little piece there. Oops. Not unlock it. Go back to frame 1 of the guide layer. Pick up my eraser. And erase that back in. Lock that. Unlock my seats layer. Drag my seats layer up into the guide. Right click. Make a classic tween. And free transform tool. Put the dot there. And drag that whole thing down for its start position right here. Go up to the 40 frames, insert keyframe, and I know it's going to be the bottom one. Here, drag it. Now I'm holding my finger here so I don't get lost. Insert keyframe, picking it up, putting it there. I'm now holding my finger here, inserting a keyframe, pulling it up, holding my finger here, second last one I think, inserting a keyframe. That worked out really good, and I know I'm going to the one that has the break in it. Unlock that guide, select that last frame, and pick up the eraser tool, erase that back in, lock the guide, select that last frame, pre-transform tool, drag it, put the dot where I need it. And put that right here. Now lock all the layers and make all the layers visible, and let's give it a little quick try here for a minute. Control, test movie, test. Whoa, something's wrong. One of them is wrong. I don't know which one it is. When I did number 5 on the last frame, the 200 frame, when I moved the seat, I'm going to unlock the seat again. I put it here right at the beginning, so when it got at the 160 mark, it tried to go all the way back that way. And I should have had this dot up there, so I'm just going to move that up there. You probably didn't get this problem. You probably did it right. So now when I test it, it's going to go pretty good. There's going to be a follow-up. It'll be Flash Tutorial 79 Animated Ferris Wheel Part 2. So save this FLA if you plan on doing that Part 2. I hope you learned something from this tutorial, and I hope you use what you learned.